monitoring center where you have the super admins. They have complete control of the entire system, and they are the only ones who probably get level 4. So now, everything when we talk about cloud, they say an IoT platform, you need to have a dashboard. So obviously this would need one as well. So in this dashboard, on the top you can see, the dashboard gives you an overview of all the signals of faults, fire faults, and all the alarms that are popped up on that system, or multiple systems with having unique like an identifier. So if you have BAT005, well, this is the worst case scenario, one device, everything's gone wrong. So the minute there's a fire alarm signal on the ATE, it pops up here within a second or two, and then afterwards it'll give a loud alarm bell sound. So until you click on acknowledge, it'll have a set of processes you need to follow. Are you going to, have you called the person, have you checked in with them, or have you checked the location, is it an actual fire or fault? And then you can dismiss it, but then you have to put a few bits of information there. Devices, it allows you to manage all the devices. So once you click there, you have a list of all the devices that are connected to your system, and you can change and configure the settings. Then premises. So if you need the building information about the system, you can just click on the device ID, and then afterwards you can get the location as well. Logs, any data about all the devices, they're always logged continuously. And help, it could have some FAQs for the alarm monitoring center. Now, when we look at a cloud-based alarm monitoring center, this can be set up right here. You can just put 2 monitors, get 2 people to sit on it, and they can do exactly what a command center is doing. You can set up multiple command centers in multiple locations, anytime, anywhere, because you have a cloud-based system. So one of the required features you need when you are setting up something like this, make sure it has TLS encrypted data communication. So that's transport layer security, basically a communication protocol where you are encrypting all the data between 2 nodes. So when the data leaves from here and goes there, it's encrypted, it cannot be tampered with or it cannot be modified. So you know that you're getting the accurate data in a secure way. Then the alarm monitoring center should have access to the installation and building information, because they would need to contact them or any authorized person. So it could be a system where if there is an alarm that comes off, immediately 3 SMSs are sent. So first to the building manager, 2 to the tenant, and 3 to another person. If this person doesn't pick up, send an SMS there. If that doesn't pick up, go to the 3rd one. And then finally, if all of it fails within the timeline, which should be 3 minutes, then it goes to civil defense directly. So these kind of things can be customized and programmed. Then we have alarm and event logging. All the data is logged, so you can investigate it later for any kind of, if any incidents happen. And then the alarm monitoring center should be able to pass the alarm to the emergency services. Then identify signal strength as well. If they keep getting notifications that a couple of devices in this particular area of the city are having maybe a cell tower is down or something is going on, they can actually make sure to go and check that the signal strength is something wrong with the center, tower, or the device. Operate on PC, mobile, and tablet. Again, anywhere, anytime access. So you should be able to set it up right now. If I have a laptop right here, I just log in with my credentials because I have the privilege. I can just log in and I can start doing an alarm monitoring center operation right here, right now. And then again, data logging of all activity. Why that photo, what you see is, if you have the firefighting department, if you have the ambulance and the police, and if the system is integrated in such a way where they need to have access, like we said, the GPS location of where the AT is installed. The fire brigade needs to know where it is, what kind of input, was it a fire fault, has it been dismissed already, is it not a fire? They can actually have real-time access to this as well while they're on their way. So what are the benefits of setting up something like this? Low on-site hardware costs. You don't need to have big screens, or you don't need to have multiple servers and desktops and physical installation costs and something like that. And the benefits are secure open standards communication. These systems are continuously vetted by industry professionals, and any kind of bugs are always published. You make sure you have fixes for it, so you're always securely updated with a system like this. Just-in-time scalability. This is a particularly important point, because let's say today you have 1,000 units installed across the city, and you have the conventional system, you have a server and all the data is stored over there. Tomorrow you're going to activate another 2,000 systems, but the data storage and the network is not able to take that kind of information at that speed. What happens with the cloud-based system is, based on the provider of your cloud services, it's already very dynamic in the sense that today you're 1,000, tomorrow you're 4,000. It automatically allocates more resources to your system based on your subscription so that it's seamless on your end. You don't have to worry about how many devices install, it will still keep moving smoothly. And real-time monitoring, you have the benefit of monitoring all the devices in real time, make sure which devices are getting the alarms and faults all the time. And remote configuration via mobile and web browser. If I have super admin access, I just open my mobile phone right now, I can configure the AT that's installed there, I can switch it off and switch it on, change the settings, enable, disable inputs while I'm on the way of walking. That's the level of access, but yes, we wouldn't be doing that all the time. And you can capture the data and analyze data trends. You have all this data now, you can use it to get insights into the little bit of analysis, and you can find trends from that. With the current system, you can't do any of that, because you don't have the data to begin with. You just have a connection that's established with the unit. Now, a couple of install bases of where this type of technology is used. In South Australia, the fire headquarters, they are managing the entire region with these type of devices. So it covers commercial and industrial sites, 4,000 plus. Then they also have a Shell refinery, which the entire complex has this wireless system installed over there. So we're talking about an oil and gas setup with those kind of requirements that are there. It does comply with those and it is working. ADF, so the Australian Defence Forces, in their ground and air bases, this system is installed there as well. So what we've covered now is you have in residential, commercial, industrial, oil and gas, and military and defense. There are use cases where it's already complied with the stringent regulations and requirements in each of these sectors. And overseas, which we will look at in the case study as well, we have in UAE the Wakaya program. So around 25,000 plus buildings, and the installation rollout started in 2022. And the next one was in Malaysia, where it's approved for trials of the system in 2024 this year. So we'll quickly go through a case study now. So in the Emirate of Ajman, they had a program called the Wakaya program. Wakaya means protection. So what you saw right now, how you are going to implement it into an actual solution. So what happens there is they have a dedicated team. The minute you have a subscription to this system, they come and install it next to your fire panel, they get it connected, it gets connected to the cloud, and then you have an alarm monitoring center which is directly live with it. So let's say I have one of these ATs now, I have an alarm monitoring center set up somewhere here. I just take an AT, it takes me less than 30 minutes, I've already connected it there, the SIM card is active, and it's live and connecting to the monitoring center. That's how quick it is, and this installation also is just right next to it, take power from the panel, and you're good to go. And then in Ajman, they assemble the devices in-house over there. So to make sure you have your supply chain and all of those things based on the rollout of how quickly you're doing it, they just assemble it over there locally, and then they go and install it. So how this program came about. So the Emirate of Ajman had initiated a program where they wanted to increase and improve public safety. So in the terms of the fire alarm signaling technology, this is one of the requirements that they wanted to implement. So it comprised of 30,000 buildings in a high density mix of commercial, industrial and residential units. Why I use high density mix? When you have a lot of houses and buildings which are in close proximity to each other, let's say there's 200 to 300 units, 300 devices of mobile devices which are sending signals. You could have interference, obstructions, intrusions, all those things which affect the signal. So this system is working perfectly fine with those challenges in place, just to give you an idea that it can handle those challenges as well. And the scope of the program involved design and construction of a new monitoring system. So the device had to be customized, and even the alarm monitoring center had to be set up as well. And the collaboration was with Etisalat as a nominated telco. So what the support Etisalat offered in this process was they took care of the LTE data communications. So you have the SIM plans, rollout of the SIMs, how much data is allocated for this program, and they assisted with the compliance with the TRA and Ajman Civil Defense. In our case, it would be ICT Qatar or the CRA and Qatar Civil Defense. So the telecom operator assisted them with getting this done. Then they built a subscription application system. So what happens is if you're a homeowner, you actually have to pay a subscription per year, and they will come and install the device at your house and it'll be connected live. So this is something for your public safety, you have to pay a subscription. In some places it is mandatory. So in Ajman right now, you need to have an ATE system installed next to your fire panel. It's illegal not to have one. And then building surveys were conducted in the records, and local content were incorporated into the manufacture of the ADE. So in Qatar, as example, the way we have addresses is with the zone number, building number, street number. These are small modifications which would be incorporated here, but over there they had certain other specifications, so they were modified and customized for that region. And all the tasks that they had set out were achieved in 2022, and the rollout has begun since then. So the Security Services Support Authority was appointed for the rollout. All the data was stored in country. This is something when you deal with data and IT systems, even in Qatar, the one thing that you will get, which is your roadblock, is I want all my data to be stored in Qatar. I don't want it to go anywhere else. So when you have cloud-based systems, what happens is you'll have a cloud server hosted here. There'll be a redundant server maybe in Bahrain or UAE or any other country, maybe the US, India, anywhere else over there. The minute you have redundancy of your data, one is stored here, one is stored in another place. So that is a big no-no over here. So those are the challenges you will face. So what they did is they have 3 data centers there, and all the data is stored only within there. Even though you're using Amazon Web Services, all the data, the redundant data is stored within the country. And Etisalat had a fiber optic connection to keep separate backup locally as well. And how this works is you have a device, you have a SIM card, you're using data. What if you have a building for a month and the data finishes? So the data is over, and then you're not sending any data to the alarm monitoring center, there's a fire, no one knows anything. So to make sure that doesn't happen, what Etisalat proposed is to have a data pool. So for the Wakai program, I'm going to have 100 GB, 1 TB or 10 TB. If one device uses 100 MB this month and the other one uses 2 MB, it'll just share from the pool, so all devices are always active. And obviously there would be alerts when the data gets used, but these kind of systems don't use more than 50 MB per month. So that's the amount of data that you can estimate in terms of usage per year. And the more devices you increase, the data pool increases as well. So the alarm monitoring center, they set up a dedicated alarm monitoring facility. They hired 18 staff. They're operating 24/7 across 3 shifts. Then the center has a backup generator in case the power to the alarm monitoring center fails. Then again, they install a fiber optic link for internal backup data storage. The operation of the system is analyzed daily, and all the ATs are assembled locally. So the project commenced in 2022, and they are expecting 5,000 to 6,000 ATs to be installed every year until they reach 30,000 plus limit. And then each AT once installed has a service life of 10 years. That being said, 10 years of service life with the current configuration. If any modification is always remotely possible to do, and it can be done via software, so you have the design for upgradability in place. So that was my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. If you have. Yes, please.
Let me clarify, because no need for microphone, my voice is loud enough. I would like to clarify, because the existing fire alarm panel, you have a panel next to it, which will be sending information to the central.
Sending it to where, sorry?
You have 2 panels, right? But the existing, you will be attaching 1 panel to transmit the information to the central.
Yes, so we just need that small device. Whichever 5 panels already installed, that's already there. We just take the small unit, place it right next to the panel, we take power from it, and then this sends the data to the central location.
So this device is only sensory and sending it to the central device?
It's only transmitting signals, yes.
All right.
It's a communication
because
device.
What I see in your presentation is only the view of the central panel. But I don't have the contents. Maybe I missed the slide about the remote panel. But it does not interfere into the operation of the existing panel.
No, it does nothing. Whatever signals are there, it just sent over here, and this wirelessly sends the data. So let's say your existing system already has the PSTN network, the panel is doing whatever it's doing. This does not interfere in any way with the operation of the panel. Whatever signals, it's just taking that signal into this device, and it wirelessly sends the same signal to the monitoring center. It does not interfere with any of the operations of the panel. It's purely a communications device.
Yeah, I just need that confirmation, because in that central device panel, I did not find the reset button.
Okay.
I think that is one of the
Sorry, could you say that again?
reset button in the panel. There is nothing, because it does not interfere.
Reset button, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is it usable?
Yes, please.
what if there is a power failure? Is this the configuration of this device will be affected, or you need to reset again?
No, so good question. So depends on specification. By default, you can put a backup battery installed. I will actually go to show you. Here. So here you can see an example. This is the standard requirement in UAE's installations. They want a backup battery installed, and the ATE must have an AC power, like an AC mains connection. So even though you can get power directly from the panel, their specific requirement was, I want you to plug it into the wall and get power from there. So if the main power fails, the battery will last for up to 30 to 40 minutes. If you want it longer, you can put a bigger battery. But in most cases, here at least in the Middle East, the power is pretty reliable. But there is a backup battery. If the fire panel itself fails, this will have the backup battery and tell you the fire panel has a failure, or the power from there has failed, or the AC mains has failed. So any of those variations, it will give you an alert while it's still connected live. Yes, sir.
Okay, question. So basically the question is this, I have a question.
Yes.
With recent brands in Japan, let's say one of the most known name, sorry. Who is from Cisco? Howard? Howard? Thank you so much. So, your system can, let's say we are migrating from that brand, for example, to your brand.
Okay.
Will you be able to have all the features and also can be approved by civil defense?
Yes, so in terms of features, one of the core features, if this is to be open, to have open source connectivity, you should be able to operate with different protocols, open protocols that are there, and with multiple brands.
But you will change the panel, civil panel, or how you gonna do this migration from conventional to?
Okay, so if I get your question right, there's already a fire panel, there's already a conventional system installed over there. So right now it's a PSTN based system. If I had to upgrade it with one of these systems, you can just take that system off, put this panel, and just take a cable from the input over there and just wire it there, power it on, that's it.
The second question.
Yeah.
Will the new system, once integrated and hopefully it pass the civil defense authority, will you be able to control it when I am in the Philippines, for example?
Yeah. There are multiple things we can do to enable or disable this. So if I give you a username and password, and now I give you level 4 access, which is the super admin access, and if you're sitting in the Philippines, you will be able to log in, but then it'll ask for an OTP. Now, how you get that OTP, I could limit that. If it's only within the country, then you get the OTP there. If you're outside, you're not going to get the OTP. So,
Why I ask this? Because, for example, me, I have a multiple facilities, right? And one of the requirements of being in the emergency number of the company is to be, you are part of the company, your visa is under the company, and you are the ultimate responsible person in that